from the beginning.
Here's our.
This is for the yeah.
So you'll know, Miss Laura Metcalf got the script. Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to. So that's the thing is, I don't know how it works on this.
I'm just gonna record the meeting.
Okay.
Record.
And because used to when we started Google Meet, you know, you just turned it on.
Mm-hmm.
And now what she did is she took the script and she dropped it into a Word document and then she forgot. And I dropped it this morning into Gemini and made the meeting notes.
Got it.
I'll say behind every time, folks.
Right.
I know how to get. I know. Right. Okay. Justin's calling the library to make sure because he went there too.
That happens.
Or Beck goes, maybe you should call the library. I go, why? I go, we've only been talking about this for 2 months via newsletters, via social media, via email, via
people don't read
meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
There we go.
Right.
Live
chat. I seriously doubt if anybody's going to be on.
Doubt it.
So what Alejandro did is he actually had 2 laptops, like one was trained on that, and then that one followed. And I didn't bring the other camera to do that.
Gotcha.
But we can.
Yeah, I think this is going to require a 2 camera set or like a 2 laptop setup.
Right.
In order,
you want mine?
I'm looking at my phone battery. I'm at 43%.
I have a cord. Okay. I have an extension cord and a plug-in.
Okay.
Hold on.
Am I in your way, Michelle?
No, you're fine.
I don't want to.
You're fine.
Is this?
You're really pop from the rest of the red, white, and blue.
Do these not? Oh, that's perfect.
Wow. Yes.
let you know I was here. Got me. Yeah.
It's a long time no see, huh? How are you doing? I actually got their red outlet range, so they let all of them know. They were like, "We'll send an email out right now, or everybody knows what the address is." So we gave them the room name and everything. It was super helpful.
Okay.
I'm going to unplug your projector for a second.
Okay.
Give it a longer,
Sure.
because it's stretched.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that good? I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah. I think I might be able to run my Zoom in the background and have AI pick it up.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Do you need this?
What is that? Oh. No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, well, no, it's fine. Hi. How are you?
I'm supposed to tell you that you know Sharmila.
I do.
I have known her for decades.
Really?
I've known her since she was in high school.
Oh my goodness.
And she sent me a picture of one of my yard signs.
In front of our house.
And I said, is that in front of Cassie's house?
Uh-huh.
And she said, you know Cassie? And I said, I do. And she said, next time you see her, she says you call her shy. I call her Mila. I've called her Mila since high school. But I used to teach junior and senior high Sunday school, and we went to the same church, and I knew her family really well.
Yes.
So I've known her for decades.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
at her wedding.
I love her. She's so sweet. She's great.
But I just wanted to tell you
my
that we have somebody.
Someone in common.
Yes.
It's a small world.
It is. I know. I'm so excited.
Oh, good. Okay. Zoom. Did I just turn it off? Is it on? Yep. Okay. Great. I'm just waiting for my HDMI to come through. Ah. Yes. We can probably scoot it up just a little bit. Yeah. I think. Perfect. Great. Wonderful. So funky, but it'll work.
Good?
Yeah. I think so. What? Do I need one? I don't think so.
I thought you were the moderator.
No, that's
Oh,
Laura. Yeah.
You're just so professional, I assume naturally that you must be the moderator.
Nope, flying by the seat of our pants, man. Yeah.
Michelle definitely was.
It's gonna bother me.
Right, yeah, I saw it on the email. It seems to be a common thread. That's how they get
What? No, I didn't even know this place existed.
I was telling her I was at the library at 4:30. It's like,
Oh.
it's every
Where did I get the wrong memo?
day. You say we're a couple candidates late right now.
I might have to do. I might have to do some camera shifting because I can't get everybody with this. No. It has to go back in order to get the whole stage. I don't know. I got handed this like 20 minutes ago. I wonder. Hold on. A little funky.
What about on the chair next to you?
I was literally just. It's stretched.
You know, this stretches out.
Yeah, but it's not.
You went out to the She gets up earlier.
These are candidates.
What's that? Which one? You got a lot of time.
You can still sit here if you want.
When the candidates are up, they'll be spread out.
Yeah, they'll be on
got
either
that.
side. It's a small margin, but I have everybody. Yeah.
No, we're just making sure that the camera knows approximately what we're going to say.
If I need to, I can turn it.
Get a live feed. That's cool.
Yeah.
I
Hi.
was told to tell you hello from me day.
Hello, hello.
She's gone to the other
Who?
meeting.
Oh,
MJ.
yeah. She's on there.
She went to gym.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
I need to
There you go. It's good to see you.
How are you doing? Thank you. Right at the time.
And now look at her. So proud of her. Him.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a team we got.
it's true. It's true.
Hello, everybody. The meeting will be starting in about 5 minutes. Again, everybody, the meeting will be starting in about 5 minutes. For the courtesy of our guests, please silence your cell phones for the meeting. Again, please silence your cell phones for the meeting. Thank
Can I
you.
come? You can come behind. Am I gonna need to get up at all today? Am I gonna need to get up at all today? Stand. Great.
You both are. You got
Hello,
your 2-minute
everybody.
step speech
Let's
ready?
get started.
You don't have to use
Cut it down to 30 seconds.
Tonight. And we always like leaving time for socializing. It's a very critical part of politicking and just having a nice community. But we do need to move forward. For those who don't know me, I'm Robert Doyle, I'm chair of LD10. And first thing I'd like to do is call this meeting to order, and let's do our pledge of allegiance.
There's the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, tonight we're going to get a look, for those who have not, through our candidates for CB District 5, and this is the test. This is where you get to go shopping, and hopefully you get a chance to socialize with them afterwards, get to know them. We don't have a whole lot of time before we have to be out of here, but look forward. I hope we get that opportunity. Laura Metcalf, a longtime friend of LD10 and a candidate for the EBITS board, will be our moderator for the talk, let's call it that, sharing of ideas. We're also going to be electing some new officers to LD10. And Eric Limbs, who is executive director of the Maricopa County Democratic Party. Eric, please stand up. We'll be conducting the election for us. I guess I'm not trustworthy enough to do that, so they brought in an outside cop to do that. We'll also hear from East Valley MCDP, Jacob George, who founded Unity Rising, a young progressive group that's starting to grow. They have a very strong chapter of Red Mountain, and so we look forward to hearing from one of our young and up-and-coming Democrats. So, first thing I need to do, which I always forget, is have an approval of the meetings of last month. And those were posted on in the reminder email. So do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
We move to, and do I have an admittance that they read them, who read them all the way through?
I was here last
Okay.
meeting. Does that count?
Gotcha, now, who seconds that motion? I didn't read it. Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, next comes the financial report and approval. I am not officially the treasurer because I cannot be chair and treasurer at the same time, so I am LD10's bookkeeper. Fortunately, tonight we'll be voting on an official treasurer who gets to take the heat if I have done anything wrong prior to this coming on. So currently, we have a cash balance of just under $8,500. Our big expense this year was paying for a space to hold these meetings. We were, as you know, at the library, which was free, but that was subject to their choices. There was a meeting up in Los Angeles, but that cost $500. We went down to Gilbert. That library was actually more expensive to the venue here. And it will cost us about $250, $275 a month. The great thing is it's been all prepaid. So that $8,500 does not have any claims, any other bills that are against us. So we're starting in a fairly healthy position. So I guess I'll just go ahead and do I have a motion to approve my report there?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
thank you very much for that. If you have any questions about the detail, I'm more than glad to show it to you. This leads us into a fundraising update. Our biggest expense going into this year will be on a voter's guide. That is a list of candidates that we recommend people vote on. It's going to be a particularly hellacious year because the legislature is referring a lot of bills directly to the voters. And you know how those bills are phrased. It's like triple negatives following quadruple negatives. And it really takes somebody saying, this is really bad. So we're going to provide that. My very first lesson that I learned was hearing Adrian Fontes, who will be here next month, say at a meeting in 2017, vote up and down the ballot. And it never occurred to me. Start at the back, go up, and go back down, because we kind of stop at the names and then, oh my God, I don't know what to do. This is what that voter guide is for. So it's going to cost money to mail it. Rates are going up in July, and think $1 per mailing, essentially, to get that out to many of our 34,000 Democrats in this district that we can. So we have a goal set of raising $7,000 sometime by, let's say, the end of July. But what makes it easier for all of you is we have some anonymous donors who will match every donation you make. So I received a check for $100 tonight. Thank you very much. That now counts for $200. Right now, there's no cap put on that, so hopefully we can go to $3,500 and then reach to $7,000. So keep thinking about that. It's a great deal. It's going to double immediately. Anything you give to us online, in person, after tonight, it'll be somebody else collecting that money, but I'll be around to help them. So that's our big goal. We'd like to end up with a minimum of $15,000, $16,000 for this promotion. Anybody here who's in business who does mailings knows how expensive they are, even for a budget kind of mailing. I'd like to move right on to our election for our new officers. We have some new officers coming in, and I'd like to turn this over to Eric Limbs, MCDP Executive Director.
Thanks, Robert. So I hate to be formal here. We want to do this right. So I'm going to go off my little, first of all, thanks for having me, everyone. What I'd like for you, Robert, to do, or Michelle, whomever, to formally just make a motion to approve me as an election official. Okay? So just basically just do the usual, is there a motion to approve these?
Do we have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
I second.
Wait a second.
Great.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, good.
Thank you for that formality. Just want to make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. So today we'll be taking nominations for LD10 board positions, second vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. Precinct committee persons minus those who have moved out of their precinct, changed their party registration, or deemed inactive, and who are present may vote. Nominees must be PCs, and those nominated must be PC. So we're just going to operate on honor system, only PCs for LD10 can participate. Nominating speeches shall be no longer than 30 seconds, and candidate speeches shall be no longer than 2 minutes. Should there be only one candidate for a position, I may call for a vote by acclamation. So this time I'll open the floor for nominations for the position of second vice chair. We'll do that one first. State your name.
I, Michelle McNeil, nominate Katrina Schaffner for second vice chair.
And I assume that Katrina, who is not able to be here, will accept that nomination.
Yes.
Okay. You actually have up to 30 seconds to say why you're nominating her, if you choose to take that 30 seconds.
Sure. I'm such a great crowd. So I am nominating Katrina because she really wants to be second vice chair. And because she really is key to moving the LD in the way that we want to go. And she's a really great, bold thinker, which we kind of need in our legislative district. And so and she brings a lot of talent. I mean, a lot of talent, hidden talent. And so that's my nomination.
Thank you very much. And one thing I should have done first is I must ask if there are any other nominations for second vice chair. Are there any other nominations for second vice chair? One more time, are there any other nominations for second vice chair? If not, we'll move to close nominations for the position of second vice chair.
I move to close nominations for the position of second vice chair.
Without objection, nominations are now closed for the position of second vice chair. Seeing as how there are no other candidates for second vice chair, I move to vote by acclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Katrina Schaffner. You're happy to read the statement you agree
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Katrina is in Lake. Yes.
Got a microphone for
All
you.
right. Oh, thanks, Robert.
Okay, I always think I can yell really loud and you guys let me know that's not true. Okay, so Katrina is a late supposedly because her 9-year-old said her but seriously. So she did do a written statement and she said, "Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Katrina Schaffner, and I'm running for second vice chair of the LD10 Democrats. My background is a little unconventional, and I believe that one of my strengths, I come from the trades, where I learned the value of hard work, problem solving, and showing up for your team. I later moved into corporate operations, where I worked my way up managing high-profile clients, including the WWE, and learned how to build systems, coordinate people, and deliver results under pressure. Before long, my job title, before any job title, I was an activist. Since high school, I advocated for LGBTQ rights and human rights causes around the world. Most recently, I've been actively supporting Ukraine in honor of my Ukrainian roots and the ongoing fight for democracy and freedom. Last cycle, I ran for Congress, and while that campaign taught me a lot, one of the biggest lessons was that real change starts locally. It starts in rooms like this, with neighbors organizing, building trust, and creating community. As second vice chair, I want to help modernize and strengthen our LD through better technology, stronger messaging, and organizing. But more importantly, I want to help create a safe, inclusive, and supportive environment where volunteers feel valued, new people feel welcomed, and everyone has a place to plug in and grow. Because when we build strong communities, we build strong campaigns. And when we organize effectively, we win elections. I'm ready to bring my experience and energy and passion to this role, and I'd be honored to earn your support. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're
We will next move to the election for secretary. Is there anybody who'd like to nominate someone for the position of secretary?
I would. I would like to nominate Cassie Winchester for secretary.
Is that Cassie?
That's me. Hey,
Okay.
what's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Are there any other nominations for the position of secretary? Are there any other nominations? position of secretary. Are there any other nominations for the position of secretary? Seeing none, I ask to close the nominations for the position of secretary.
I'll close the nominations for secretary.
All right. So with that, nominations for the position of secretary are closed. We have up to
20 seconds.
you go ahead.
2 minutes.
Yeah. 3 minutes. Yeah.
3 minutes. Hi everybody. My back has been to you all for the last hour, so it's cool to see the room filled. My name is Cassie Winchester. I was born and raised in this district. I spent the last 10 years though bouncing around the United States. I went to school in Connecticut. I got my degree in music business. I worked out in LA for the LA Philharmonic in their PR department for a year, and then I recently moved home to start my own business as a PR and marketing consultant. So secretary is really important. Everybody needs a note taker, and I do that basically every single day for my job. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me, and I'm excited to work with this LD, and I'm excited to see everybody here, and we're going to make moves in November.
So I apologize, I forgot to formally do the vote. All in favor?
Oh.
of the secretary, say position of treasurer. Are there any nominations for the position of treasurer?
I nominate Justin Hoff for treasurer.
Why don't you go ahead and take 30 seconds to say what you're nominating, if you want to.
I'll skip the self-serving. I think, I don't know how good he is with bookkeeping. He's a basic task, and I've been impressed with his presence as a leader and his work ethic already. And I think he'll be a great addition to the executive board.
Does Justin accept the nomination?
I do.
Awesome. Okay. Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer? Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer?
No.
Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer? If there are none, I'll take motions to close nominations for the position of treasurer.
I move to close nominations for the position of treasurer.
Is there a second to close nominations?
Second.
Nominations are hereby closed for the position of treasurer. Why don't we just go to a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations. You are a treasurer.
What's up, everybody? I'll keep it real brief because we got a lot to get to tonight, but to speak to my experience with bookkeeping, I'm an estimator for a telecommunications company, so I stare at Excel spreadsheets on pivot tables on spreadsheets all day long. So it's second nature to me, but I'm really happy to accept this nomination. For those who don't know, I did run for Congress in this district up until I did not quite get enough signatures, but the energy I generated during that campaign had to go somewhere. And during my experience meeting the different LDs all around the congressional district and meeting different organizing groups, I felt a real special connection with this board in particular. Katrina was a great friend, kind of gave me some guidance early on, and Michelle and Robert got to know really well. Martha was absolutely awesome to work with, and so the opportunity to be part of this group, learn from their leadership experience, and serve this community is something I'm excited to get started on. Thank you.
So as we do elections, their transition is now. Congratulations to all of you. If you want to give the treasurer report again. Thanks for having me, guys. That concludes the elections for this evening.
Gotta get through it.
Justin, I kind of owe you a lot because even when I was running for the Senate 2 years ago, I still had to maintain the books.
No,
I wasn't officially treasurer, so I begged and begged and begged for somebody to do it.
let's do it, man.
So thank you very much. I'm going to, before we move on to our first speaker, Jacob George, I'd like to acknowledge, first of all of our volunteers out along the perimeter who are here tonight. Everyone please stand. I'm not going to take time to introduce you all, but I do want to acknowledge, these are people who are putting in the work all the time. Because it does take people who look at volunteering as at least a 20-hour-a-week job, but there's really there's no quitting on it. So it's a tremendous work ethic to see around us. I'd also like to recognize our two legislative candidates that I see in the room with us. Helen Hunter. Helen, how close are you to collecting all the files from the election? Congratulations! That is always something to sweat. Does anybody here not know about the Clean Elections funding? Okay, then I won't have to describe it. So congratulations. I'd like to have Lorena Moses running for Senate. And I can see that our other House candidate, Brian Calloway, didn't make it, but he's also a very effective campaigner and doing some innovative things. We do have another candidate here. Danny Hart is running for Mesa City Council. And Danny jumped right into LD10 politics, became a PC, and is now part of the official structure. You can see the value of being a PC because technically you're the only people who can go on board positions. So if you want to be part of that decision-making process officially, we can get you signed up as a PC. I do want to welcome a new LD10 group here tonight. This would be their first attendance as a group. It is called the Blue Vistas, and they're located in Los Angeles precinct, my precinct, which I thought the Democrats there are either incredibly grumpy or forever in another part of the world. Until I met this group. Los Angeles Blue Vista people, please stand up so we can watch you. So thank you for coming. And do we have anybody here who has not been? That's going to come up. Yeah, that's what they're going to have the stage. I didn't want to give them two shots at it. Anybody here for the first time ever? Please, Leland. Welcome. Hope to see you again.
Yes, I just got my voting card today, so she's gonna make me.
David just moved in from LD10, and so we're very glad to have him here with us.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So I'd like to now welcome Jacob George, who is working, you're in charge of the East Valley Maricopa Democratic Party, correct? You also founded Unity Rising, and I met two of your members, Vaughn Torman and Alexis Ballestiera, who came with me to the Gabby Gifford Gala. And Jacob just graduated.
Thank you so much for that. Congratulations. I'm filled with gratitude. Before I start, a quick little story. My grandpa thought, he came down from Utah, and he was like, well, let's go to the Superstition Mountains. I was on the last Saturday. I'm like, okay, I'll take you down there. We'll let you see it, whatever. I take him down there, I bring him to it, I'm like, here it is, Grandpa, and he can't walk. So he's like, well, this isn't the road I took in the 80s. And I said, Grandpa, what are you talking about? I thought it was gonna be like an hour max, not a whole day thing. He takes me all through Globe and takes me up the 88. I don't know if anyone's been on the 88. Yeah, on the dirt road in my Volkswagen Jetta. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. But no, it's great to be back in LD10. I was here about a year ago. And I'm going to give some updates about MCDP. I'm the East Valley Political Director. First and foremost, we have some great county candidates. This cycle, we have Sen Mariaba, who's running for clerk of the court. He's actually 18. He's the only Democrat running. We haven't had this position, somebody run for this position since 2018. So we are excited to support him. And we have Judy Schubert for the Maricopa County School Board. She's a great candidate. She'll do great. And I kind of wanted to go into some voter registration numbers for LD10. We've had some good numbers this year. Starting from, this is a net gain from January 21st to now. We've had negative 217 Republicans in LD10, and we've had a plus 221 Democrats. Now, countywide, it is around plus, I'll just round up to 2,000 Republicans and plus 10,000 Democrats. These numbers are good that we're kind of seeing, especially from last year, where we had a lot of Democrats kind of leading, and from leading the Democratic Party, we are seeing some gains. However, that being said, Republicans statewide still have a 300,000 lead over the Democrats. So we have to continue to make sure that we are working hard at registering DEMS. Also, just want to say that we've had a great elected PC number, and this is actually the highest I believe we've ever had. We had a 40% gain from the last election cycle, so we're close to around 1,800 elected PCs across the county, and so that's something that we're very excited about. Also, for petitions, if you haven't signed them, you've probably heard this multiple times, go over to the SOS and AEA table and sign those petitions to make sure that we stop the waste, fraud, and abuse at the ESA level. It's very crucial that we get that done. We also have Protect the Vote. We have some back there. That's just basically saying, Arizonans deserve the right to vote by mail. And all that good stuff. So make sure you sign those two positions. Now, I'm going to kind of go into my Unity Rising. We have one of our biggest chapter. For anyone who actually doesn't know what Unity Rising does, we are trying to counter turning points. That's Charlie Kirk's organization that he started. We actually have a chapter here in Mesa at Red Mountain. It's our biggest chapter. It's a great chapter. They have, I think, over maybe 30 plus students that attend. So they're doing an amazing job. They actually did a great job organizing the ice walkouts and kind of started that across the state. You may have seen them on the news earlier this year. And we're continuing to support them, giving them money, all that fun stuff. Unity Rising will be kind of transitioning to our C3 and C4. That's something that we are working on. Just kind of setting it up just like how Turning Point has their set up. So that means you can donate tax deductible, all of that stuff coming soon. We'll still keep our PAC, our Political Action Committee in Arizona, open for voter registration. We'll do partisan voter registration, all that fun stuff. So there are just some updates there. And we also just hired Sierra, who is our chapter development director. So she's going and talking to schools, all that fun stuff, and getting chapters kind of set up across the state. Right now we're in around 25 plus high schools. across Arizona, and so we're going to continue that momentum. But I would like to hear if anyone has any questions for me on anything.
You announced the additional registrations for Republicans and Dems. How about independents?
I have to look at my number. I can't pull it up right now. It is actually my phone's down there. It is high. So we do have a lot of independents. People are switching from Republicans to independents. I mean, Democrats have switched. Independence is the number one, and then it's Dems, and then it's Republicans. So they are kind of, people are leaning towards independent, but yeah.
Going back to the registration numbers, how is Mesa as a whole looking?
I was just kind of focused on LD10. I have to really go in and look at the numbers, but I can get back to you on that. Just send me an email. I'll respond tomorrow for you. Any other questions? Okay. Perfect. I will be around. Thank you.
So we're going to move on to our candidate forum.
Robert, can we give Isadora the floor first?
But you want to do that? I was going to do it afterwards.
However you want.
Yeah, I thought we would do.
Okay.
Yeah, I already spoke. Yeah, she doesn't come next.
Okay.
So let's have first Laura Metcalf will be our moderator. Please come up and welcome Laura.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Laura Metcalf, and I was your Democratic candidate running for American Campus School Superintendent. And I'm excited to be here this evening to moderate our democratic process with our congressional candidates. So just give me a minute here, our candidates here. We're gonna do a little movement around. I can do some dad jokes if you'd like.
I like where that's at, though. I can see everybody.
Let's get them up here for the candidates up while we set the chairs and microphones. Is there a seating motion? No. No, just stand and make notes.
Oh, I like our pickleball paddles.
Yes.
Well, good evening once again. I am Dr. Laura Metcalf, and I will be your moderator for this evening's CD5 Congressional Candidate Forum. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for your time and attention. We are on a strict time frame, exactly 30 minutes. I will read the instructions and then we shall proceed. Are there any questions on what we're doing this evening? Sorry, that's the teacher in me. All right. Welcome to the Arizona Congressional District 5 Candidate Forum. Tonight's program utilizes a highly structured format with themes synthesized directly from community and public submissions, covering everything from local water infrastructure to constitutional oversight. With 3 candidates and exactly 30 minutes total, our time limits are absolute to ensure fairness. Candidates will see a visual countdown timer in the front row. Let us begin immediately with our opening introductions. Candidates. Each candidate has exactly 2 minutes to introduce themselves, their background, and their core platform to voters of CD5. We have 3 candidates, candidates A, B, and C. So I think we'll go A, B, and C if that's acceptable to you candidates. Okay. All right, candidate A, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. My name's Chris James. It's so good to see so many familiar faces. I really enjoyed my time, now almost a year, running for Congress. I'm going to do a little bit different tonight. I'm going to talk from the heart. That's been some of my good friends' advice recently, that oftentimes I'm a little too scripted. You guys don't really get to know me. So tonight, you're going to get to know me a little more. I can tell you all about my background and my experience. I do have my resume and background on my website. I also have some copies here if people want to see me. But all that experience that I have doesn't really tell you what makes me a good candidate or not, right? What makes me a good candidate and why I'm running is because for the past 15 years, we haven't been represented here in this district.
No.
No one's represented us. For the past 15 years, I've spent my whole career advocating for communities. I've spent my whole career advocating for my community, the Native American community. I've spent my whole career working for the underserved, making sure that people have housing, making sure people have access to water, making sure small businesses are successful, making sure people can access health care. But that's not really who I am. I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a husband. I have 3 adult children, one of them right there. I grew up working at the Dairy Queen, and he did too. That's who I am, and I can't wait to tell you more about it, and can't wait to talk about my policies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidate B.
Hi everyone, it's nice to see so many beautiful people out here tonight. My name is Brian Waldy. I am another one of your candidates here in CD5. I was born and raised right here in Arizona, right downtown Phoenix in the hospital I work at. Unfortunately, I didn't really know that until I started working at the Children's Hospital that once upon a time was called Doctor's Hospital. And I think everything came full circle, and my family kind of reminded me that, hey, you're right back where you started. And it's a really important thing for me to let you know that my family's been here in Arizona for 4 generations, and I understand the needs of Arizonans. I understand the needs of Arizona. I served in the Army as a combat medic. I did a couple of deployments over to Iraq. I was fortunate enough to come back. I used my GI Bill. I got my nursing degree, and like I said, I worked as a nurse practitioner. I've worked in pediatric surgery for the last 6 years, and I recognize the need. The working people in this district have not been represented. The working people in the state have not been represented, and we need someone that's a strong leader to be able to step up and make sure that we have good representation in Congress, and someone that's going to have the life experience needed to make sure that there's a strong voice representing the people here in this district. I have some clear focuses in my campaign. As a healthcare professional, you can imagine I'm focusing on healthcare access and along the spectrum from veterans to those who need Medicaid to those with Medicare. and anywhere in between. Also have a strong emphasis on public education, affordability, and environmental protection. I think those are extremely important things here in Arizona, and I think that those are all things that working families across the spectrum from both political parties can agree on. And I think that's an important thing in this campaign, making sure that we find the common ground and make sure we have someone that can speak to everyone to make sure we are able to find the ability to get the votes from the center to get what we need on our side.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Lee, and I recognize many of you. Thank you to LD10 for giving the group the opportunity to come here and to meet all of us. I come from a union family in rural America where I live below the poverty line. I have been fixing broken systems my whole life because I was born into the broken healthcare system by way of a rare genetic disease. That it took me becoming a nurse myself to crack the code. I am running to represent you all in Congress because we deserve people in DC fighting for us who have actually lived the struggles they debate. And while Arizonans are drowning in the affordability crisis, they're being told we have no money for healthcare, we have no money for childcare, we have no money for clean water, for housing, for student debt relief. We have no money for any of those things. But we can write a blank check for war and give $1.6 billion to the January 6th rioters. And that's just unacceptable to me. So it's time that our leaders have the backbone and the courage to stand up to the government overreach and the authoritarian rule, and to demand leaders that can actually go.
When it comes to data centers, it destroys this planet. They suck up the water like it's a sponge, and they do it indiscriminately without the thoughts of the people in the state.
Arizona's water future really depends on how seriously we choose to take the risk. How seriously are we going to take this, and are we going to wait until it's too late? Because this is a budding national emergency from a public health standpoint and from pretty much every other angle. So my question is, why are we not fighting for stronger interstate agreements for allocation of that water? Knowing that we need to separate utility rate classes. Why are all of us paying the same rate for electrical use when we're being asked to use our dishwashers in the middle of the night and to cut back on water use with our irrigation? It makes no sense. So we need to invest in agricultural infrastructure updates to make sure we're not wasting our water, because we really don't do the best job yet at our water recycling, but Arizona could lead the future on that.
All right, question 2. Housing and corporate monopolization with an economic focus. Your question. Arizona families are finding themselves competing against large investment firms for basic shelter. Do you believe corporations should be allowed to own large portions of single-family housing? What federal tax credits or anti-corporate rent-setting legislation will you champion to stop this monopolization?
Jenna today gets the first answer on everything. All right. So, first of all, we definitely don't need corporations in our business. I mean, and we are seeing that constantly. As of the second question about what can we do in Washington, we need much stronger legislation and to make sure that that doesn't occur. And I would support any legislation to help regulate to make sure that corporations don't have access to a house, full stop. Secondly, though, we also need more investments to build affordable housing. We need investments from the U.S. Department of Treasury and Community Development Financial Fund, that's a big word, and we need investments and tax incentives to support affordable housing and planning grants from the Economic Development Administration. Both of those agencies got cut by President Trump, and he's cutting it down.
Thank you.
There is no reason that hedge funds should be buying up all the properties,
Great.
any state, anywhere in this country. It forces working people to have no access to an affordable home and no access to pursue the American dream of home ownership and a place to raise a family and be successful. We can do a lot better when it comes to regulating these hedge funds that come up and buy all this property. They jack up the rent prices because they own everything. The median house price goes up, no one can afford to buy, and that's a problem. What we need to do is make sure that we're incentivizing builders to make sure they have an adequate amount of lower income housing built, affordable single family homes. And we also need to make sure that we're putting in place new programs for first time home buyers to make them have the access to funds that they need to actually purchase some of these homes. Because right now, it's just not there. It's not possible for people to actually pursue purchasing a home.
The average age of a first-time homebuyer in 2026 is age 40. When I was growing up, it was age 26. That is despicable. And the main reason is that we have so much private equity dollars being poured into our single-family homes. Day one, I would sign on and sponsor the stock predatory investment act to limit the amount of single-family homes that can be owned by corporations. This is simple. You bring rich venture capitalists into neighborhoods, they flip these houses, double the prices, sell on a profit, and then they're gone. And then we're left to try to buy that property up. So we've got to crack down on that. We've got to quit giving our money away to the billionaires. And this is a huge way that we do it. We, of course, do need to also expand our affordable housing, but the easiest, quickest off the top is stop the predatory investing.
Question 3, Constitution, democracy, and civil liberties, pushing back against the influence of corporate greed. Now, I want to just say, I didn't read the instructions, so you won't get to start serving. You will get to start, so we're going to mix it up. All right, let me read the question. All right. Citizens United has been the law of the land for 15 years. In that time, unlimited outside money has reshaped our elections, drowned out working people, and made it nearly impossible to pass meaningful reform on issues voters care about, from healthcare to housing to climate. Given how deeply this ruling is now embedded in our political system, can you explain specifically how Citizens United harms everyday Americans today, and name the exact legislative or constitutional action you would champion in Congress to overturn or neutralize it? We will start with candidate B.
Yeah, so Citizens United, I first off have to say that I don't think money is free speech, and this is a terrible thing that's happened in this country. We have unlimited funds that pour into campaigns for any version of political lobbying that the corporations decide is most important to them, and it protects their bottom line. And most of the time, that's at the expense of what we need as the population in this country. And they make it almost impossible for grassroots candidates, grassroots movements to get off the ground and actually be functional and accomplish their goals. They drown out any voice that we try to raise by just throwing money at it. We saw this recently in election for Representative Massey. They spent over $27 million or something crazy.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we all in this room can very much agree about the negative influence that this dark money has had on our system. And we have really two avenues to fix it. We can either try to cooperate with SCOTUS, which if you pay attention, maybe that's never going to happen. Not unless we can move forward, expand the court, have term limits, stop giving people lifetime appointments. But the other option is the constitutional amendment. And I have signed on to a national Move to Amend pledge that is going to move to amend the actual Constitution to end the corporate rule of their financial influence they have over this country. We do need in Congress, advocates do really underestimate the amount of room we still have on congressional regulation in this area. So we can have tighter disclosure agreements, we can have bigger limits on foreign influence, and we can actually take back the power because it's very unfair. It's very unfair.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with both of my candidates. I mean, it was $781 billion went in of dark money, went in our last election. $780 billion, a lot of money. A lot of money went in there to get Donald Trump elected. And who liked that, right? I am so frustrated because Mark Lamb, who, gosh, we've all heard about him recently, and Daniel Keenan has taken all this dark money already. You can look up how much. There is PACs that are giving those guys money way more than the three of us. Political action campaigns, not all of them are bad, but look out who's taking the money and who is going to try to represent you. They are just calling that money in. So I agree with my candidates. We need to stop it, and we need those amendments to move forward.
All right, question 4, healthcare and lowering costs. The high cost of healthcare insurance and limited access to quality care are forcing Arizona families to choose between coverage, basic necessities, and medical treatment. With medical debt being a primary driver of bankruptcy, what specific federal legislative actions would you take to lower insurance premiums, expand access, and make prescription drugs affordable? We will start with candidate C.
So negotiating on prescription drugs is a very bipartisan issue, and B, a very clear pathway to massive savings. So right now, Medicare CMS can negotiate on about 10 drugs, and that saves CMS about $6 million, and it saves patients about $1.5 million in out-of-pocket costs. Just expanding Medicare's ability to negotiate on the full formulary of drugs would save us $100 billion in 10 years. Secondly, the high cost of healthcare is a choice. 30% of our healthcare dollars, guess where they go? Administrators, fraud, waste, and abuse, actual corporate fraud, waste, and abuse, so that insurance company CEOs can buy their third yacht and your grandma can ration grains. Oh, no.
Candidate A?
Guys, this is a broken system. This is a broken system. And I'm appalled at the system. I'm appalled at our hospital system. I'm appalled at how much we have to pay. You know, even I'm appalled at the Medicaid cuts that happened in that big, beautiful bill. I'm appalled. It's disgusting. About a year ago tonight, my dad had a stroke here in Arizona. That was a miserable experience navigating that summer. He died in August. And part of it is that the healthcare system's completely broken. Completely broken. Every piece of it. From the hospitals, to the doctors, to the nurses, to the insurance companies. We need stronger regulations, and we need more nonprofit hospitals, because all those hospitals, they're run for profit.
Candidate B, 1 minute.
Thank you. Healthcare is near and dear to my heart. As a healthcare professional, I see the struggles of working families every day. I see the struggles of families with disabilities. I have patients talk to me every day about the struggles of taking care of their children while they're in the hospital. First and foremost, we need to return these subsidies so people can actually start to afford their healthcare again. Step one. It's not a fix. Step two. We need to make sure that we have some kind of basic level of access to care in this country. We might not get to universal health care right off the bat, but in my mind, we need to start somewhere. And I think that having everyone access to at least one preventive visit with a provider every year with medications subsidized to manage chronic issues will go a long way in making sure that the health of this country is addressed at the base. Prescription drugs are a scam. I'm sorry. The companies that make these drugs and get all the billions of dollars invested in making them from the government patent them. And that's why it becomes so unaffordable. We need to limit the time frame that they can have access to patented medications so generic medications can take over.
Okay, we are ready to move to the litmus round. And this is where you'll be using your yes/no paddles. You can only use yes or no. No explanation is permitted. The rules are strict. I require a simple yes or no and nothing else. Except don't you. All right. I will read the question and then you will show the audience your answer on the paddle. First question. Do you support guaranteeing paid family and medical leave for all workers nationwide? Do you support breaking up monopolies in key industries such as housing, healthcare, and technology?
Everybody said yes.
Do you support automatic voter registration and expanded early voting nationwide?
Everybody said yes.
Do you oppose any laws that restrict or criminalize abortion access, including at the federal level?
Only Elizabeth said.
So you want me to read the, do you oppose any laws that restrict or criminalize abortion access, including at the federal level?
Everybody said yes.
Question 5. Will you refuse all donations from fossil fuel companies and their affiliated PACs?
Everybody said yes.
Question 6. Do you support expanding Social Security benefits and protecting it from privatization efforts?
Everybody said yes.
Question 7. Do you support decriminalizing marijuana at the federal level and expunging non-violent convictions?
Everyone said yes.
Question 8. Do you support creating federal protections for union organizing, including stronger penalties for union busting?
Everyone said yes.
Question 9. Do you support requiring full transparency for Supreme Court finances, gifts, and outside income?
Everyone said yes.
Question 10. If you are not the nominee, will you support the Democratic Progressive nominee in the general election?
Everyone said yes.
All right, segment 4. This is our human element segment. To maximize candidate visibility and ensure clarity within the compressed timeline, 2 pre-screened questions submitted by CD5 residents will be presented. All 3 candidates will have exactly 1 minute to answer each question. Question 1. We're going to start with candidate C for 1 minute, candidate A for 1 minute, and candidate B for 1 minute. Candidate C, here is your question for everybody to review. What experience showed you what it is like to struggle financially or economically? Candidate C, 1 minute.
My entire upbringing. I was born into a under the poverty line family in Union family in Ohio, and we really struggled. I was a free lunch kid. There were plenty of times that I would not eat, so that I didn't have the embarrassment of needing to turn in a ticket. They gave it away to everyone else that I was a free lunch kid. And I was a Pell Grant recipient. I'm a first generation college graduate thanks to Pell Grants. And I've also been a single mother.
who thought I had made it and then fell back on hard times again. So all I know how to do is to get back up and keep on going. It's been my whole life, and I intend for it to continue that way.
Okay, candidate A, 1 minute.
I grew up in one of the poorest areas in the whole United States. You heard me say I worked for Dairy Queen. I've worked my whole life. I've seen both my parents struggle, my grandparents both grew up in poverty. My dad's, my first new pair of shoes was when I was 5 years old. We went to the mall. You guys remember the malls used to have carpet? And so I had put those brand new shoes on and we're walking through the carpeted mall. And when we got outside, I started crying. And my dad says, "Why are you crying? You got your first new pair of shoes." I said, "I don't want to get them dirty, Dad. I don't want to get them dirty." He picked me up and carried me to the car. So I know what it feels like not to be able to afford the things I want. I know communities I serve are the poorest communities in the United States, and I'm from those communities.
I don't mind telling you, I don't come from money. My dad was a pastor. My mom worked in charter most of her life. Education didn't get very well, especially in Arizona. And so there were many nights where we would be coming home and there was a big number of how much money we'd have to get through the next 3 days and what we were going to eat for dinner for the next few nights. And so it really taught me the value of the dollar and showed me the hard work that my family put in to allow us to do the things we needed to be successful in life. I know that I was very fortunate to be born a white male in America, and that was immediate privilege, and that was something that a lot of people don't have the ability to say, and I don't discount that at all. I personally have struggled recent years with children with disabilities, and know the effect that the healthcare system has on the ability to continue to function the way you have, and it really opened my eyes to how families struggle when they get struck down by healthcare debt.
On to question 2. We are going to go right down the alphabet. Question candidate A, B, and C. You each have 1 minute, and here is question 2. From your perspective, what represents the most significant divide between the political maneuvering in Washington and the daily realities of citizens across this country? Candidate A, 1 minute.
Well, I think everybody in this room knows the answer to that question. They are disconnected up there in Washington. And let me tell you a little bit about what I've done today. I work a full-time job. I run a nonprofit organization that focuses on small business, rural, and native communities. Today, at 10 o'clock, I had a meeting with the House, with the staff of the House Natural Resources Committee, because HHS is canceling a pretty sizable fund to support community development. And I'm talking to the committee this morning, the staffers, and pretty much they said, we're not going to do anything till November, Chris. And I was so disheartened because not just this morning, but 2 weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C. talking to the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, and they said the same thing. What's happening in Washington, D.C., they're so disconnected, and we are connected. And we need people that know how to do
Candidate B, you have 1 minute. Certainly, from your perspective, what represents the most significant divide between the political maneuvering in Washington and the daily realities of citizens across this country?
Yeah, so in my mind, what creates a huge divide is the outreach that the the parties have into the communication systems in our country, the conglomerates that are growing and reaching into our televisions, our radio stations, and they continue to get bigger and bigger. And they say things repetitively to a point where most of the people that hear them start to accept what they hear as truth. And unfortunately, most of the people that own these major corporations continue to merge them together, violate antitrust laws, and create monopolies, and they break the laws that have been in place. And we have an administration right now that is not worried about the laws, and it's not worried about protecting the ability for people to have unbiased information. And so what we see is that we have overreach of our communications companies, and we see repetitive messaging that supports a specific message, and it essentially brainwashes people in this country to think what they want.
Thank you. Candidate C, 1 minute.
I think this boils down to the fact that politicians really spend far too little time in their actual districts, in their communities, listening, stepping into a room and listening, saying, what keeps you up at night? And then from there, begins to share ideas for solutions. I kind of liken this to the admins and the hospital come up with these really cool rules or policies that didn't work at the frontline level. So if you didn't spend time really understanding the mechanisms of the problem, if you're not going to give the proper solution, you're going to give whatever solution you want to. So our politicians need to spend more time with the people.
All right, thank you so much. We are ready to move to candidate wrap-up and closing. This section will be 4 minutes. Each candidate will have exactly 1 minute for a closing statement, and I get a whole minute to take up the final for formal wrap-up and dismissal. Wow, I get a little bit of time there too.
Give back your teacher language, Laura.
What's in my contract? All right, so we will start in candidate A, B, and C. You will each have 1 minute to wrap up and make your closing statement. Candidate A, 1 minute.
Well, first off, thank you so much for your attention tonight. It's been an honor. I mean, you can see it in us. We have very similar views. I mean, we're all Democrats, but the question in your head is who can actually win in November. And I think, as you look at the three of us, really think about that. Who can actually take on a Mark Lamb, who is corrupt? Who can actually take on a Damon Key, who is corrupt? Who can actually fight for your rights every day? And who actually has the experience of done this. My career didn't start last August. I've been doing this. I'm not a career politician. I've been doing this as an advocate for the past 20 years. And that's what makes me different. I didn't start just in August. Thank you.
Candidate B, 1 minute.
Thank you. Just thank you all for being out here tonight. It just shows a lot about what's happening in this country and how many people want to stand up and make a difference. And it is important to think about which candidate's going to be able to stand up in this district. And that means a lot. And having a certain background is important. I think that I represent working people in this district. I come from a working background. And I think that that's something that's extremely important because working people don't have representation anywhere in Congress right now, from my perspective. We need someone that has the life experience to handle stressful situations. I raised my family here in the East Valley. I can't imagine not standing up in a time like this in our country to make sure that I'm willing to make the effort to change what's happening, to make sure that future generations can prosper, and make sure that Arizonans have a safe and happy, healthy place to live in.
Candidate C, 1 minute.
Okay, so I think we all know the math of the East Valley, right? We know it's been a long 15-year Republican stronghold. It's only ever been held by a white man. To defeat Mark Lamb, we're going to have to use a different playbook. We are not going to be able to use the same partisan playbook that we've tried in previous years that has lost us this seat. And this is why I've spent every single day out in the community for over a decade, but really in this city, all across it from corner to corner, because we have to build a coalition. This is not something that one person does alone, my friends. This is going to be a coalition of people that come together with courage and that stand up to the corruption of this administration and to our plan. And we've built that powerful coalition, and with that, I ask for your vote July 20th.
All right, now's my time. Here we go. Thank you to our three candidates for their participation, and thank you to the voters of Arizona's 5th Congressional District and Legislative District 10 for engaging in this rapid-fire, essential democratic dialogue. Please remember to vote and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
We are ahead of time. It's so funny.
Is there an unofficial dismissal?
Sorry, that is not the end of the meeting.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Lock the doors. We're getting away. I would like to go on to community engagement, listening to some people who are working very hard to achieve some of the things these candidates spoke about. The first person, if I can have everybody's attention, we're actually running ahead of schedule, so we'll get you into the socializing part of this very, very soon. I'd like to invite Isadora Britton from Save Our Schools in Arizona to talk about the Defense Education Initiative, which is very, very critical for putting some guardrails on the voucher system, which has them now. Isadora?
First of all, I just want to say, Jacob George, you're amazing. This is a kid who has started a movement. And this is a movement that is going up against the MAGA movement. And I don't know if you know what's going on high school campuses, but basically Turning Point is trying to turn our kids into little MAGAs. And this is the first time that somebody is coming up against that, and that's huge. All three of my kids have gone to Red Mountain High School, so this is one of the reasons why it's so important to me. But anyway, I am Isadora. I work for Save Our Schools. I both work and volunteer for Save Our Schools Arizona. And you probably know by now that we are working to have an initiative to go to the ballot in November that's going to rein in these vouchers. You probably, anybody here not know what a voucher is? I think everybody
At this
knows.
point.
They've gotten out of control. I'm sure you see on the news every day, the crazy things that people are spending money on with voucher money. And at this point, we're not going to be able to get rid of vouchers, and we honestly don't want to get rid of them completely. There are people with families with disabilities that do actually need extra funding for education. That's not something we ever want to get rid of. But what we do want to do is rein it in so that we don't have people with millions of dollars who are collecting extra money to pay for their private education. And essentially what this initiative will do is it will allow us to limit who can get the voucher money, We'd like to limit it to people that make $150,000 or less. And we also don't want to allow people to stockpile unused money in bank accounts to be used later for higher education. We want that money to go back to our public schools because our public schools are closing, we're losing teacher contracts, and we do not have the money that we need to have in order to maintain the infrastructure to make our schools safe places for the kids to be getting educated. So those are basically the things that we want to do. Do keep in mind there is another copycat initiative that's in circulation right now that is being pushed by the American Federation for Children. They are saying that they're doing the same thing, that they want to rein in vouchers, but that is not the case. So you do want to make sure that the petition that you do sign is the one that has the word voucher in the first line. If you don't see the word voucher, it is probably not the right initiative. Voucher's kind of like a dirty word to the opposition on this, so that's something to look out for. If you have not signed it, I'm going to stick around for a few minutes tonight. You can come and sign the petition, and better yet, maybe you have some neighbors, some friends and family that you know would like to sign, and maybe they can't make it here. Check out a petition. You can circulate with people that you know, and all you've got to do is watch a video. We've got it all kind of mapped out for you. Get those signatures, you need to get it notarized and get it turned back in, and that's as simple as that. And we are getting very close. We're about halfway to our goal at this point. If you've been getting the SOS emails, maybe you've seen this. We need to collect over 256,000 valid signatures by July 2nd. We're about, I think we are 42 days away from that goal. We're doing really great, but we have to keep the momentum going. We can't go, oh, it's May now and we're off to vacation and whatever. No, we have to keep working. We have to make sure that we're going to continue to collect signatures so we make it to this goal. I've watched these things happen before, like the referendum we had back in 2022. We did not make the goal on that. And it's because a lot of people felt like it's somebody else's job. Right? Somebody else will do the work. Well, no, not somebody else. We need to do the work. We are the ones that are going to save us. So please take the time to sign the petition, circulate, and let's win in the midterms.
Because of the chaos, I was not able to present to Dr. Metcalf a donation to her campaign on behalf of LD10.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're coming to the final minutes. I just want to let you know that we also collected signatures for Protect the Vote, which is to make some of our mail-in voting a constitutional amendment to the Arizona Constitution, which means the legislature cannot override it. We have petitions here and petitions back in that corner. On this table here, we have opportunities to sign up for, we are tabling at Red Mountain Library on the next Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you'd like to come out and join us and help relieve some of your fellow LD10ers. So it's each Friday and Saturday until June 12th and 13th at Red Mountain Library. We have sign-up sheets if you'd like to look into becoming a member of the board or commission. We just saw how important it is to be part of the Mesa Planning Commission, which sent through this horrendous data center, 2 million square feet or something, to the city council. And of course, I doubt if they have much pushback from anyone on the commission. We have volunteer canvas. If you don't want to canvas, our candidates need drivers because it makes a big difference, especially the hotter it gets. If you're planning events, please contact LD10 and we can help you do that. If you're getting a get together with your neighborhood, give us a call and we will represent, we can come and represent the district. Some events of note coming up is on May 28th, we will have our political trivia happy hour. Where's that going to be?
It's going to be at Hava Java.
Hava Java, which
Mesa.
is Hava Java Mesa, which is in Midtown Power on the northwest corner. That's just a great social occasion. On June 18th, a month from now, we're going to have Adrian Fontes. So if you have not heard Adrian Fontes in person, please come. Quite inspiring. He is very, very dynamic, and he's your instant new best friend. I do want to mention that Leisure World Democratic Club on June 3rd is hosting Chris Hayes, who is another dynamic candidate. Just a normal person who happens to be tough as nails. You have to very much appreciate what she does. She sued the administration 42 times and has won 80% of those cases. So she's a very good representative for Arizona. LD10 will be holding a safety training seminar and fundraiser on June 27th. We haven't quite nailed down the location. It is essentially just how to defend yourself, correct? Am I getting that correct?
Yes, and we will be at the Red Mountain. We will be at the Red Mountain Library. We did get the thumbs up from the librarian.
We'll be at the Red Mountain Library on June 27th. We'll also be having another fundraising event, but that's going to be later in July. Key dates, you can see them here, June 24th. Early ballots must be mailed or delivered in person. June 30th is the last day to turn in these petitions. July 2nd is the deadline for those petitions. And then the primary is July 21st. So I hope to see you June 18th right here. We will always be here the third Thursday of each month. So thank you very much for your presence. Oh, I should mention that if there is any confusion about why we're here from CD5 candidates when you are actually in CD4, LD10 actually represents 3 congressional districts. CD5 is pretty much east of Power. CD4 with Greg Stant and Pine Newkirk is northwest LD10. And then my precinct, I'll send this, just like this little pizza sliver that they stuck way up in CD1, I think primarily to add 1,000 more Republicans up there. So it's a bit of a crossword puzzle. So thank you for being here, and we encourage you, since you're about 15 minutes early, to hang around, talk to candidates, talk to our board members, visit Petition Hub, and look at our volunteer table. So thank you very much. Martha, thank you.
Yes, okay, Robert, you need to adjourn. You need to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay, great. David. Okay, great.
I have motion to adjourn, and he seconds. Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please be careful. Thank you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Okay, how do I stop this? It's been recording